Hi, everyone who has joined this webinar. A warm welcome. We're just waiting for a few more of you to join before we kickstart this. Ashu, I'll leave this to you to give me a sign to go forward.
Okay.
I'll just hang tight for now.
Okay. Hi guys, any question and answers? You can always leave a message in the panel, which is below, and our team will respond to you on a real-time basis. We will wait for a few more people to join, around 17 participants now, and a few more to join. Aaron, I think we can start and we can wait for few more people to join. Aaron, we're not able to hear you. You're muted.
Sorry. So yeah, I think we can start in probably 30 seconds. Just give me another 30 seconds since we are already recording this session. So we are all good, and the participants who missed this can just listen to the recording. Give me a second. Okay, guys, I think we're ready to start. We have a capacity crowd over here. Again, a very warm, I'll say afternoon to all the Indian folks. My name is Aaron. I'm representing HubSpot over here. So just a bit of my background. I basically was the founding and the pioneer group over here in Asia Pacific for HubSpot. For a lot of you who may know, HubSpot is a Boston-based company that is listed on New York Stock Exchange 6-7 years ago. We started the company 11 years ago by two MIT MBA alumni, Damesh Shah, as well as Brian Halligan. Okay. So we specializes in marketing automation software company. So the main goal of the automation software company is to help our clients or prospect like you to attract more traffic to your website, convert more traffic into leads, as well as close them and nurture them as a customer, right? In an era like this, in a digital era like this, especially in India, where digital channels simply just boom, right? It's all about keeping track and keeping tab of each and every prospect that you have on the digital world. And you definitely need a tool that can tell you which channel on your social media is working, what landing page is working fine for you, what kind of content actually appeal to your prospect. So all this can be measured and can be done out of a single platform. And all these are being synced back to your centralized database, regardless of the database system they're using on Salesforce or Sugar CRM or even Zoho. All of these are integratable. So this is just a bit of intro of the company. And I basically work on the partner front, the channel front. So I work very closely with our appointed partner, 7H, people like Ashu on the call, who's a panelist. So he is one of the first partner we appointed in Bangalore. So the main goal over here for us to expand to different region, different country in the Asia region is to appoint a well-fit agency that has all the capability, capacity to support local clients. In India, we really need someone like Ashu on the ground. We can't be servicing you out of Singapore or out of Boston because the market do require hand-holding, do require on-ground guidance, and Ashu is there to guide a lot of our clients, right? That's why he's on this call as well. No worries. Without further ado, I am going to kickstart the presentation by sharing my screen over with you guys. Now, this webinar essentially is to educate the whole, I would say, community that are interested in digital and make an introduction to what we call inbound marketing. All right. A lot of you might have heard of this term already. A lot of you might not have, but you know, I would regardless be taking you through that journey of how inbound marketing and marketing automation will bring a positive impact to your business and essentially hit your goal. And in everyone's mind, everyone will want to get more business. Everyone will want to get more leads. So I'm going to show you how this can be done. All right. Now, I would say 10, 15 years ago, all right, advertisers had all the control, okay? And us as a customer, us as a potential consumers, we were bombarded with ads, with pamphlets, with emailers, with EDMs, where people trying to sell their product, people trying to sell their service to you, right? Regardless of whether you're interested or not. Even until now, I'm sure you guys still receive calls out of nowhere from insurance company, from telemarketing company asking that, hey, you know, are you interested in buying this insurance from me? And they have no idea what your demographic is. They have no idea where your interest level is. They just call you and try to close business with you, right? And us customer, to be honest, you guys are all customers, although you guys are in business. No one likes to be reached out cold, right? No one likes to, you know, receive a call where they say something like, hey, you know, you can buy our product, get one free, buy one, get one free, when you have no clue or no knowledge about the particular product they're talking about. No one likes that. Now, ever since, I would say, the revolution started probably 5-6 years ago in Asia, where buyers are in more control, where they have much more power, all right? And the reason why they have much more power is because of the internet. They will simply research on the internet to check out products that they are interested in. If they have not heard of your product or services, they will do an extensive research, go on to forum, go on to review sites and compare them and equip themselves with the correct knowledge base before they speak to someone that are interested in buying service from. That's why that's this saying that consumers basically has made up their mind 70% of the time before they spoke to you, right? It's because of the research, the foundation work that they have done, and given the knowledge, volume of knowledge coming through the internet and sharing on social channel, it's so easy to acquire knowledge these days, right? Give you a quick example. If you were to buy the new iPhone X, if you have not made up your mind, you would definitely not go to the shop right away and speak to someone on the ground. You would do a bit of research and study yourself. You go on to a review site to compare Samsung S8 versus iPhone X. You basically leave a post or a comment on a forum asking people's opinion, right? Before you actually pick up a phone. Okay? So this link back to my point on you guys have all the tools at your disposal to do all your own research, all right? And you'll be able to make your own decision on your product, services without a salesperson, right, on the ground. Now, the biggest problem with the old playbook that I mentioned to you in the olden days where you send out pamphlets, you send out emailers, you put up an ads, it's you're fighting for people's attention by interrupting them. You have no idea what they're interested in. You're just interrupting them for the sake of interrupting them. and hoping that they will resonate and they will reciprocate and respond to you in a positive manner. Now, this whole webinar, right, guys, I'm going to interact with our panelist, Ashu, for a while, right? Because he can provide us the India context of things and how things work. And India is a very unique market, and we respect the culture, we respect the business manner. That's why we are going to dig deep into more local content and to give you a bit of context of how this can work in India. So Ashu, just a question for you, all right? Based on your experience, you have been running an agency for many years. You have served more than 100 clients over the past 10 years or so. Yes. What do you think? Like, how much emphasis is being put into the outbound effort right now for companies in India?
So, in my experience, companies are still investing in outbound activities, largely ATL, BTL at point, right? Digital is still a medium for them. So, investments are and efforts are primarily focused on social media engagement. And even in the digital community, it's a very, very small percentage of the people today are doing inbound marketing approach. And that is also primarily in, very silos of SEO, SEM, largely for quick wins.
Okay. And in relation to that, like, so what kind of results, what kind of findings that you have been experienced from running outbound activities for your customers?
Yeah, we see there is a lack of integrated approach, right? So digital marketing still happening in silos, as I mentioned earlier, SEO, social media, content, right? While engagement rates are very, very high today in India because of the large population, there is a little ROI that can be attributed to the digital marketing activities, right? And that is largely because of you don't have an integrated approach today and a singular way of looking at looking at results across all your touch points today, digital touch points.
Right. Okay, cool. Fair enough. So in other words, right, attracting attention is always smarter, guys, than interrupting people's attention. All right. And how do you attract attention? It requires you to provide something people will love. People will see add value with whatever they're doing in their role. All right. So this is what we call organically attracting people to your website with a content that you put up on your blog post, for example. So let's take insurance company as an example, right? You see nowadays AIA or even AIG, they are creating a lot of contents around thought leadership topic. So now, what kind of topic do they publish? You will see that they publish content around, or they come up with a topic like, how do you retire before age of 60, for example? And this is a generic topic that everyone, absolutely everyone will be interested in because everyone wants to retire before 60 or even earlier, right? But it has nothing to do with insurance, nothing at all, right? So this is how they can attract curious prospects at a very generic level, all right? Get them onto the website and read and consume the content that they're looking for, all right? And this is what we call awareness stage content. And then if you like to move that group of prospects down the funnel, the next funnel is what we call consideration stage. And the topic that AIA would be publishing will be things like, why do you need a life insurance before you hit the age of 30? Now, you see the component, the insurance component being incorporated onto the content already. Not necessarily self-promoting. They're just telling you that why do you need an insurance? Not necessarily from us, but you need an insurance, right? As a whole. And that way, you're sort of softly, subtly attracting people's attention to read and consume more content because it will add value to anyone's life. Like, how does it help? And then you move them down, probably 50, 60% of the people down the funnel to what we call decision stage, where you tell them how different your life insurance plan is as compared to what, let's say, Tokyo Marine offers, right? Another insurance group over here in Asia, right? That is where you see they draw that comparison between products, okay? And that is where you go self-promoting. So what I'm trying to say over here is people nowadays don't like to get bombarded with, I would say, hard sell, a way or approach of selling things. They prefer to be nurtured, educated. Now that they recognize and understand the value of what you're providing, then you tell them what you're selling. So that's the essential and the crucial part of not disrupting or interrupting people's life, but attracting the attention. Okay. In this world, like I said, of digital, people love content. Do you guys realize, I'm sure you guys are all on social channel. Content is just overflowing. Each day, you just don't have enough time. 24 hours a day is not enough, right? For you to consume all the content that is published, that's being published on Facebook, that's being published on Twitter. So how do you get people's attention, right? How do you get your website out there so that when someone simply type in best company to work in India, your company will show up on the first page of Google, right? So content is a part where you really need to do it. And what is better than writing or putting up some content on your blog site? Now, this is an example that HubSpot has done by ourselves. That is back in 2013 because we have been practicing this for years now, right? So now I want to divert the attention to look at this. Look how much traffic it is getting 2 years later. All right. So this is basically the flow chart of the visitorship. All right. On organic search, on organic content, on blog content. All right. Look at the consistent flow over here. So even after you have published the content like 3 years ago, right, it will still draw crowd to visit your website because the content proved to be worthwhile reading by your clients, by your prospects. I can share with you an example. So just 3 weeks ago, I received a call from a prospect, and he was like, "Hey, Aaron, I see that you guys do a lot of lead generation. You guys, help clients, empower them with tools to acquire more leads. Can you help me out with some of the challenges that I'm facing right now?" I was like, "Oh, how do you hear about us?" "Oh, I come across this blog post that you guys wrote about email marketing. I thought it was quite interesting and quite relevant. That's why I decided to give you a ring." And I was like, I don't remember writing a blog post recently on this. Then he sent me the link. I clicked into it and I found out that this content was published 3 years ago, right? So this is a classic example of how content, how blog posts can do wonder for you. Even after 3 years, even after 5 years, that content is still searchable on Google, and people still find that content wonderful and useful. And that's why through that content, it adds value to their role. And that's why they prompted them to give me a ring. All right, there you go. An opportunity is being created as compared to you running a paid ads, which is, to be honest, it's effective, right? Guys, you guys have all tried paid ads. You guys have put up ads on Facebook. You guys have put up ads on Twitter, on LinkedIn, whatever mode, on Google AdWords, right? You guys will get consistent results. But let's bear in mind, they're not cheap, number one. And number two, imagine if you strip off all these ads, you stop doing all these ads. Will any lead come through your door? No, it won't. The lead flow will stop right there. It won't keep generating leads for you, like what content can do for you. All right. So now you see, for example, in this case, when we type in press releases template, you see we have written this 3 years ago, back in December 2014, all right? But still is constantly ranked on the first page of Google because of the number of visitorship to this blog post, and because we know people are constantly demanding like how to write a press release. They are constantly asking or seeking for guidance on how to do such a thing. So it's all about targeting at what people would potentially look up for, is all about understanding what kind of keywords can you rank, how difficult it is, and how popular the keywords are, which is what you're able to do from various tools or even from HubSpot tools. All right. Let me just backtrack a bit over here. Okay, so moving on to the next stage over here, right? In the world of digital, okay, people love content. So I've brought you through blog posts and web content, and now increasingly getting prominent is what we call photos and infographics, videos and podcasts, even presentation and ebooks, even software and tools, right? People search for that, and people that sort of resonate with people right now, right? Sometimes you don't even bother to read something. You just click on a video, and then that video will autoplay, and then you just consume content on that, regardless of the mode that you go after, right? So long you're creating valuable content on your site and it resonates with your target audience, or what we call it bias persona over here, you get that positive response from it. Okay. Now, before I move on to this methodology over here, I'd like to ask Ashu this question. Ashu, so based on what I've gone through on inbound marketing, based on what I've gone through on how a potential customer can attract traffic organically and have a long-lasting effect in their marketing effort and activities, what kind of changes are you witnessing right now on your clients' marketing activities in India?
So the focus is changing from engagement to conversions, right? Even though the clients want to capitalize on new digital trends, more and more people come to us and asking how conversions can be improved immediately. Mm-hmm. However, there is still need to work towards a strategic approach for a long-term benefit, I see.
Okay. All right. Cool. Fair enough. So now, remember I kept saying inbound marketing. I kept saying marketing automation. Now I'm going to pierce everything together so that you have a clean view on how do you do it. Yep. So the main goal over here, for example, as a first step, is for you to attract stranger. All right. I would say 99% of the population in your country have not heard of a company or have not heard of your business. So the question now begs, how do you get their attention? How do you educate them that, hey, I'm right here, I can provide service, I can help you? How do you do that? Number one, you create content, be it in a video form, be it on a blog post, you create content. But create content is just a first step. How do you make sure that all this content are being found and being searchable on search engine like Google or Yahoo or Bing? You optimize your keywords. All right. And how do you make sure that you get that required exposure and awareness within your community? You share all this content on different social channels. Now, Google has started looking at your social media channel presence before they rank your website. Now, after you have gotten their attention, after they have come to your website, what happened next? They're just anonymous IP addresses. For those people who come to your website, they are just, you attracted me for the first time. I come onto your website and then I'll see what happens next. Now they are your visitor. It's your opportunity to convert them into a lead. So how I define lead here, right, is when someone leaves down their contact details with you, be it email address, be it phone number, be it where they are from, where they are located at, all right? And this is crucial because you have no idea where these prospects profiles are. You don't know what they like. You don't know what they dislike, where they are from, what kind of background do they have, what's their educational level. You have no idea, absolutely nothing about them, right? So this is your chance to incorporate a form for them to fill out their email address, incorporate a call to action to entice them. Remember, I was telling you that a video, an ebook, a blog, right? And I'm sure you guys come across content like, hey, in order for you to download the top 10 templates to incorporate onto your email, you need to leave down your email address first. So this is the stage where you collect contact intelligence through this, with all these initiatives. And after you have converted it into leads, now every step that this prospect make on your website is all trackable. Once they leave down their email address, all of a sudden, I know the next time when they come to my website, I know, oh, okay, Varun has come onto my website and he has come to my portfolio page and he has come to contact us page, but without calling me. All right. So all these are synced back to your centralized CRM system with all the historical activities. And imagine, right, in this era, everything is measurable, everything is trackable. Imagine how cool it is to know what your prospect have done on your website before you give them a ring or before you send them an email. And this is where the email combination come into place. And this is what we call the workflow management come into place. So for example, if someone has come onto your website more than 5 times over the past 5 hours, you want to automate an email, automated email and send it to that prospect and say that, hey, I noticed that you have come onto our website quite often this, and in recent days, what are you looking for help? Right? So instantly, you are getting that traction and almost instantaneously, you're getting their attention. Right? And this is how you can attract, convert, and close customer. And then the next stage, after you have converted them into a customer, you run surveys on them. You would provide them different set of content. So for example, we call it smart content. Again, I don't want to delve too much into technicality over here. So for example, if that prospect is already a customer, when they come onto your website, you want to show them different set of content as compared to content that you show your new prospect, right? And then obviously the social monitoring, tracking what they have been trending about your brand name or hashtag in relation to your brand, and to make sure that they become your ambassador, to make sure they become your promoter, so that you are able to cross-sell, upsell them in the future. Now, this is the point where I shared with you guys on attracting visitors with your web or your blog content, and then convert those leads with personalized content experiences and close them with your personalized marketing automation. Remember that that insurance example that I showed you, exactly following these stages of, it follows your buyer's journey, all right? Your psychological thinking, right? In order for you to educate them on what you do, you need to first attract them to your website. They might not be ready to engage the service just yet. So you need to know what they're interested in. And then you show them what they're interested in to add value before you convert them into customer with personalized message. Now, creating content that people love helps you create more of what you love, which is, guys, traffic, leads, and customer. Everyone needs that. Every business needs that. And the reason why you're on this webinar is you want to get more value from your digital traffic. All right, you want to get more leads, you want to get more customers. And there's no shortcut to that, and it's not rocket science. You just need to do more content on different social channels and know the way of doing it and understand what we call the considered purchase process in order to hit the right target audience at the right time, at the right juncture, and close them at the right time. Now, more content equal more leads, guys. As simple as that. Okay. So this is a research that we have done based on 30,000 of our clients. All right. The more blog posts that they create, the more lead flow they experience. So it's sort of rise exponentially over here. After you tip off that 51 to 100 range, you will then, start to build that thought leadership status, and people will start to trust the content that you're writing because you're writing so much. And then the lead flow will then increase exponentially. Right? And the effort, because of the economies of scale, the effort that you put down, obviously the effort is going to be quite tough at the beginning, because you're going to create a content team, or you're going to create a buyer's persona where you're going to engage an agency to do all this content for you. It's almost like setting up a setup fee, a capital, right? But over time, it will become constant, because the setup fee only happened once. And then once you have established that engine, you keep churning out content, and then all of a sudden your ROI will spike. Okay, so the content needed, right, changes dependent on each buyer's journey. Like I said, the 3 stages of the buyer's journey, right, revolve around awareness, consideration, and decision, just like the insurance example that I shared with you. Okay, now another example that I'd like to share with you is a glasses shop, a shop that sells spectacle. All right, so in the awareness stage, okay, how do you convert or convince people who are not wearing your glasses to wear your glasses? Now, this is quite an interesting example. So they literally create a content around, why do I keep getting headaches at work? As you know, nothing to do with glasses whatsoever, all right? But people, I think almost all of us gets headache at some point of time during work, all right? And we are going to search this online. And then once I click on the content, it will bring me to this article over here that shows, yeah, what actually causes headache at work? Oh, maybe you are farsighted. Maybe you are nearsighted, all right? And these are the symptoms. And this is what you need to look out for, right? And this is what causing your headache, right? Again, no mentions of glasses just yet. And you're slowly moving them down the funnel. And then at the decision stage, after they consume all this content, now you're trying to convince them that, hey, I think you are nearsighted. I think you are farsighted. You need to schedule an eye exam today. Find a doctor from the glasses shop. So you see that mentality shift. You see how they wisely or subtly convert and funnel you through the processes over here, right? And this can be you. This can apply to your business over here. The world's fastest growing companies have realized that it's much smarter to attract their customers than interrupting them. Okay. Before I walk you through the Airbnb example over here, guys, I'd like to just quickly pop a question to Ashu. Ashu, so just based on what I shared, right? Because I'm about to share my experience working with corporations over here. So is there a difference in terms of approach when you work with SMEs and corporations in India?
Yeah, they do. They do. SME clients generally look towards immediate conversions. They look for, the primary goal goes towards quick wins. While enterprises, they look more towards working with a phased-wise approach. Okay, primarily focus on engagement and thus resulting in conversions. Right. That is the core difference between SMEs and corporations, which I see today in India.
Okay. Good point. So now Airbnb, they started off as a bootstrap. They started off very small before they raised Series A funding, Series B, Series C, seed funding, whatever, right? However, what they have done well, right, it's not their product, right? Their product is, it's revolutionary 6, 7, 8 years ago, to actually provide accommodation and then match, the tenant to a potential visitor, right, in specific location. But what sells them or what accelerates their growth is actually their content. All right. So what I meant by that is they literally break down all the country's information, right? If let's say a person from Finland is interested in visiting Bangkok, they'll tell them all about Bangkok, the do's and don'ts, the culture, the district that they need to stay in, what criteria you need to be looking at, all right, before you find a neighborhood to stay for a short-term basis. It's all about content. Imagine them just providing rooms. I mean, they'll get traction, but they won't grow into such a giant today, right? And then they drill deep into specific area within their country. Remember, I say awareness, consideration, decision, because not everyone is exposed to like a new country's culture or exposed or open to visiting a new country. So if you notice over here, the content go by layers. Specifically, they will just go by as a holistic level, Bangkok as a country, why is it so attractive? And then zoom down to specific area to visit, and zoom down to specific culture and specific things that you could do within those areas. And this is what we call smart content, right? And they basically tripled or quadrupled, close to quadrupling their business revenue in 3 years by creating content, as simple as that. And in India, from what I see, yeah, there are people creating content, but there are a lot of people creating content for the sake of creating content. They don't know the right way of doing it. They don't have a framework or methodology in place. They don't have a tool or system to monitor what actually yield returns for them, what don't, in order for them to focus or divert their investment on. All right. So in short, right, we are a all-in-one digital marketing platform that businesses uses to attract, convert, and close customers. And that's all we care, right? To grow your business. As easy as that. But we don't talk about our product very much, okay? So as opposed to that, we create content that helps your ideal customer to do their job better. So as many of you know, HubSpot, we create tons of content on a daily basis. We get a lot of visitorship on the daily basis, not because the prospect is interested in our product, because there are still a lot of people who are new to this inbound methodology, this inbound marketing and marketing automation. Our key over here is to first help them with their immediate needs and slowly educate and nurture them on how to do marketing, and over time add value to them, and then eventually converting them to basically get more leads, more traffic, more customer by using or leveraging on our system. Okay, just a quick example. This is our content, right? You see on marketing, yeah, this is what we do. 12 Excel formulas, features, and keyboard shortcuts everyone should know. Nothing to do with our business at all, guys. You see sales. 3 aggressive sales closing tactics that make prospects say yes and when to use them. Nothing to do with us at all. To our agency crowd, right? 3 simple steps to winning more and bigger retainer clients. For agencies, this is all that matters to them. For salespeople, yeah, how do I convert more leads? For marketing people, yeah, how do I shorten my time to run an Excel report? That's all they care about, right? So we add value by creating all this content to attract them to our website so that we can slowly convert them and nurture them and make them become our customer. Again, resources hub, right? And we also provide a website grader. And I will highly encourage you guys to go on website grader HubSpot and test out how strong your website is and enter your email address, right? This is a quick way to examine how well your website is performing and what kind of improvement you should be making over here. Okay. And just to put this into perspective, all right, in HubSpot context, we have also seen fast growth. We started 11 years ago, all right? We have 6 million site visits. We have 60K leads a month. And we have grown from 80K customers to 30,000 right now, right? This is just a quick fact sheet over here. So guys, helpful content always trump over a sales pitch. The sales pitch it's an olden days thing. It works for some people who has really made up their mind in the sales process to deliver a sales pitch, but people would rather get help from you with content, and you build that trust and credibility with them, and then they engage a business with you. Ashu, so I mean, as we are winding up the webinar, so from your experience over here, what kind of common pitfalls do you see from businesses when they draw out their marketing plan for the year?
So digital is still considered to be a medium of marketing,
Okay.
right? There is a need for an organization level change, an alignment of people, process, and technology. A digital transformation journey that company needs to undergo in order to adopt digital and make most out of it. These are the common, what do you say, pitfalls which I see, and that's where it calls for an organization level change.
Okay. So we talk about the pitfalls. We talk about like the negative stuff. But what do you think they have done particularly well, like for marketers in India?
So they drive a lot of social engagement. They're adopting and adapting to digital ecosystem, I would say, right? But however, it needs to be accompanied with a larger strategic thought that lies basically between converting from an engagement to conversion and thus sales, right?
Yep. Cool. Which I'm sure a lot of people, all the participants are facing, right? This.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, then I will leave the rest of the session to the participants to ask any questions that you guys might have. I'll open this up for 5 to 10 minutes, again, depending on the volume of the questions.
Yes.
Before we wrap this up. All right. Any questions, guys? It's been a fairly quiet crowd over here. There are only 2 scenarios over here. Is number 1, you guys really understood what I'm sharing over here, and you guys are sharing all the pains. That's why you guys are not questioning, or you guys have a lot of question marks that you don't know where to start. I certainly hope that is the former.
So there comes a question.
Okay. So now I'm going to read out for everyone from Kavita. How does a B2B organization with a tight rope budgeting derive benefits? Okay. From what I see, right, if you have limited resources, you have limited budget, right, from a B2B perspective, where you mainly drive leads through referral, through word of mouth, and now through digital space, right? It's more of what kind of challenges you are facing, right? So it's less about what you can do with that budget, but more about what can you do with your immediate challenges to help you hit the goal. So what we are doing over here is like a thought process of understanding your challenges, your top 3 challenges, all right? And what are you trying to achieve over here as an immediate goal within the next 3 to 6 months? What are your plans to get there? And based on your budget, for example, if you have problem around traffic, and because you have low traffic to your website, hence you're not getting enough leads. Now, we are not going to focus on these 2 aspects of things all at the same time. We're going to focus on your traffic first. How do we get more traffic for you? And that's why we tackle the traffic questions from blogging, from social publishing, from SEO, to get your traffic up there first. And once you get all this traffic, then you profile them, and then you spend more money on nurturing them, right? And then specifically to your question on an IT sector, it's the same way. Just look at HubSpot. We are an IT company as well. And we started off bootstrap as well. And that's how we grow. And we only rely on inbound leads. We only rely on organic traffic. And when we first started off, we started off by creating tons of content to attract traffic and then slowly convert the leads and get the relevant customers. So if I were you, I'm going to focus on the focus and try to focus to resolve my immediate challenge right now. Okay. Anything to add on, Ashu?
So, especially in the IT sector, right? So, the rightly said, he's saying tightrope, like Kavita said, tightrope budgeting. How do we really arrive at, right? So it also comes with the thought leadership content, which also needs to establish, because it's a very where does your sector, IT sector, which you are focused on, is it on RPA, robotic process automation, or are you looking at cloud computing? And again, then you stitch it back to your the buyer persona. So you have to sell cloud computing to a particular CIO. So what does that problem statement you are trying to solve, right? And then you try to create content in 3 stages, and which will solve the problem statement of a particular the buyer. So that's where you actually do it. And then comes the advanced marketing techniques like the custom audience, lookalike audience, where you can target a specific audience on CIO and then try to reach that, right? So that is the larger aspect, and we can definitely, Kavita, take this offline and we can have a conversation. One of our inbound experts will get in touch with you and try to address most of this answers, right?
Oh.
So Ramakrishna has a question, Aaron. How does marketing can be more effective when our companies focus for niche areas?
Yep, very good question, right? So we work with tons of manufacturing plant, we work with tons of fintech company, we work with tons of production company where their audience are fairly narrow and fairly niche, right? So it's all about creating content that is relevant to all this niche market. I mean, even within the niche area, you have you have a significant group of people that you can appeal to. So your content would not be mass production. Your content will be specifically tailored for all this niche market. And I always say to my client, if you are marketing to a niche market, it's actually better off because you know exactly what to focus, as opposed to Coca-Cola, where their audience come from all walks of life. So what kind of content should I really produce if I'm working for Coca-Cola? I really don't, I'm really not sure. Should I go for kids first? Should I go for elderly first? Should I go with working adult first? I don't get that focus that niche business do, right? So in other words, for niche business, you need to pin down your buyer's persona. What I say buyer's persona is profile, both on demographic factor and demographic factor. So that particular persona, what do they like? What are their designation? What kind of experience do they have? 10 years in manufacturing, they need to be university and above. They need to be relying on word of mouth to get sales, to get contacts. All right, you understand that particular persona and bias that target audience, then you create content that appeals to them. So your volume might not be high, but your volume, your lead flow is going to be very relevant and very qualified simply because of the nature of your business. Yeah. Cool.
So we have few other Q&As also in the chat, Aaron.
Okay. Okay, so the first one that I see is, okay, so I think it has been answered. I think there are a few questions over here. What is the best form of content when we deal with service? I think, as you can see on my screen, our panelist Prasan from 7H mentioned that there are many forms of content that you could leverage. Blog, social media, video, podcasts, as what I went through. Mostly blog work well at awareness stage. Maybe social content work well on consideration, decision. Maybe you want to keep it interactive. You can come up with some videos. Right. So again, it depends on how many target audience profile are you after, what kind of age group, what kind of demographic, do they have internet access, for example, right? You need to, for example, do a trial and error because of the monitoring system. You would know if that landing page, that video fare better than the other video, and that will help you make a decision when you go fuller scale, when you go bigger scale, right? And then the next question is, what are all the important avenues for inbound marketing apart from content creation? And you're not referring to sales funnel. So I think Prasan also did a very good job on answering this. There are many touch points to cover. The important aspect is to be helpful across all of them. Try to identify the buyer's challenges and solve them before making your sales pitch. Exactly, right? We need to create content with the objective of helping that particular prospect, not by pitching to them, not by selling to them. Okay, so that objective, that rationale is very important. And apart from content, that process thereafter is also very important to make sure that you have an airtight process. So After that person attracted by your content, next one. What's next? Do you set up some different conditions? For example, if someone has, come onto your website for more than 10 times, or who had clicked on 3 links on the email that you sent them, what happened next? So internally, you need to have a very clear idea on the next call to action to mobilize your internal resources to follow up with all these potential leads so that they have a very good experience on getting help from you before you close the sales or before you convert them into customer.
So Aaron, we have a question from Raghuram, right? Engaging content, how do you define it?
Okay. So why not, Ashu, you take that? You have been creating content for your clients on that. What do you deem as engaging?
So the content, see, one is that it comes with a very, very larger aspect of understanding of where the content is going today, right? So if you're asking, that's something which me and my team have been working for the last 2 days. The update of RankBrain on Google, right? Which resulted into machine learning capabilities today. So while we spoke about content and keywords, right? So engaging content is about understanding the long tail queries which a user is placing on a Google search or a Yandex or a Bing or a Yahoo search, right? So when you say engaging, it's about whether your content is there when a person is searching for that particular query, right? Mm-hmm. The first thing is that, okay, you have a title and 2 lines of description, and does it engaging enough to first click that particular content, right? Mm-hmm. Before even it ends up in a reading. So this is largely an inbound perspective. So we go back to say that, okay, things have moved from keywords to topics. So I would put a very different question. Is your topic engaging enough? So a larger aspect of content is arrived. Is your headline engaging enough? Is your the topic engaging enough for people to click, right? And what is the volume it arrives at? So today, while we create content, we talk about NLPs, neuro-linguistic, approaches, where we try to humanize the content with the very natural language tonality, right? So that the keywords are translated into how people would really search. That again goes back to say that 20% of the audience today search on Google Voice, right? That is the largest insight which I would take. And then it comes again back to the buyer's journey, where saying, okay, is it really connecting to the buyers or not? So I would give the largest bonus point to the headline and the description which you're going to give, and linking it to your buyer's problem statement, and is your content being there.
Cool. So I'll say that we are running short of time, and there are a few in-depth questions that people are dying to get answers from. So we have got a few questions, right? Like B2C, how does this work? And content is up many years. How do we keep ourselves relevant? What is the best content to create for the awareness stage? We can go on and on, right? So as a call to action, as a next step for you guys, I would highly encourage you guys to basically, it's no fuss. It's basically schedule a 10 minutes, 15 minutes assessment call with Ashu and team to understand how this can work for your own business, and in the specific industry, how they can add value to what kind of challenges you are facing. For example, we have this, Deepak was asking, how do we approach the e-waste recycling industry? What do we need to do to generate leads here in Mumbai? So obviously it requires a specific session where the team can run through this with you and diagnose what you're facing and what your processes is in order to give you a very relevant and very good answer to that and very good solution to that. So I highly encourage, and since you guys are all part of the mailing list already, send 7H, send Ashu a quick email to set up an assessment call where he can help you more on all the inquiries. All right, sounds good. All right, thanks a lot, guys, for attending the session. We hope to run just based on the responses, based on how you guys are interacting with us. We thought that, hey, there's a chance that we can run a second part of this webinar so that we can add value, so that it can help you more in your business. And I'm certainly excited about the India market.
And Prasanth has returned. Please reach out to us and ask@7h.com for any queries. and we will have this address, and you always have an mail already reaching out from Nidarshan. You can always hit a reply back to the webinar link, and we will get in touch with you.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot, Ashu. Thanks a lot, 7H team. Speak to you guys later. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.